Now recording.
Okay, one more moment here, sorry. All right, welcome back, y'all. Last we left off, our heroes are spread all across the town of Vallaki as carnage and mayhem are roaming rampant in the streets. While investigating the mystery of the missing bones of St Andral, you had unwittingly triggered a series of events, letting loose 6 vampire spawn that laid in hiding at a coffin maker's shop. Chaos ensued. Deciding amongst yourselves that returning the bones you discovered back to the church was the best course of action, Sunny was the first to split off from the group, as the fastest among you. She began a mad dash towards the church with the bag of bones in hand. Without breaking stride, she called forth
Not even
several of the able combatants within the Blue Water Inn to join into the fray, and also warned everyone at the orphanage to get everyone indoors and lock up. The 3 remaining party members that stayed behind to fight quickly found themselves outmatched, and in turn each fell in battle. Instead of death, however, you were greeted by strange visions, and each of you accepted the dark gift of resurrection with unknown side effects attached. Tegan and Manu both left the coffin maker's shop in opposite directions. Tegan ran through the RSX stockyard, attempting to get help from the local town's guards and trying to warn anyone else in the streets of the present threat. She found herself locked in combat alongside 3 guards in the eastern gate against one of the vampire spawn and many bats. Again, Tegan fell in battle but was revived, finding swarms of ravens and one large, strange, raven-like hybrid creature had come to assist you in battle.
Yay.
Manu split through the back alleys towards the town square, where he was able to rally the support of more of the town's guards. They all met with Irina and the others who came from the Blue Water Inn to form a line against the vampire spawn advancing towards the church. Ricky was the last inside the coffin maker's shop, so he was there for the arrival of Count Strahd von Zarevich, who casually walked down the stairs and charmed Ricky with the directive to go to the church, before transforming into a thick black mist and zooming towards the church himself. As 2 more vampire spawn and huge swarms of bats also made their way out of the coffin maker's shop and into the streets, leaving a trail of dead bodies in their wake. Ricky has since been running towards the church. So, at this point in the battle, we are already like several minutes into combat. There was already about more than 30 creatures in initiative order. The town's militia would be rallying at this point, and that's adding 50 to the initiative. And I just can't run a stack order with 80 plus creatures in initiative, and even if I could, I don't think that'd be fun for you, because at some point I'm just like rolling dice at each other and mashing tokens together. But I'm gonna do my best to get this next
Flip
bit.
a coin. Heads, vampires win. Tails, the town wins.
Try to get through this best bit out of initiative. So, Tegan, you
Yes.
nearly died twice today. You technically did die once. You look around. The creature you've been fighting hardly looks more hurt than when you first started fighting it. Its grotesquely long tongue lapping up the spilled blood around its mouth seems to embolden it even more. Your allies in battle are standing their ground, but falteringly so. Um, you do see a look of relief on the face of one of the town's guards as he spots a small group of commoners armed with torches, pitchforks, and hand axes who have split off from the larger crowd heading west towards the church. They are rushing in to lend you aid. Seeing this, the vampire spawn you're fighting facial expression changes suddenly from smug to alarmed. It's going to attempt to disengage and flee towards the eastern gates. What are you doing?
Uh, Wiping some of the muddy, bloody off of me. I'm just gonna let them run because at this point in time, I've almost died 3 times actually, and I'm at 1 HP.
Oh, wow. Okay,
So they want to retreat. I'm just going to go ahead and quote unquote let them.
vampire spawn widen its eye, like quickly just like makes a couple wild swipes out, just like more covering its retreat. Launches up the swarm of ravens, and also this strange raven hybrid creature kind of looks at you and uses its feathery kind of hand flaps and slaps itself on the thighs. It's like, well, time to fly, and starts flying off. The militia members that run up to you go tell you specifically that there seems to be some action going on down at the church, and instruct the 3 guards that you're with to secure the eastern gate.
Okay.
You hanging out with the guards, you going off with the militia, you just sitting put and contemplating your existence.
I'm going to sit for a moment with the guards, and then as the reality of the situation sinks in, I'm going to remember that we had to get. I don't know what's become of my party members at the coffin makers, but I was part of the screaming back and forth that got Sunny to start running off. So I'm going to start making my way towards the church.
Okay, so you're not quite hot on the heels, but you are behind kind of a roaming band of kind of like an angry mob heading towards the church. A little bit further west in front of them, the 2 of Strahd's consorts are running into a line of 5 Valachian guards, and I'm going to quickly simulate about 3 rounds of combat between them. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 12, 13, 14, 16. 1, 2. Okay, so there's a clash of how much damage exactly? 1, 2, 3. So there's this clash of this line of guards that does not go well for the Valachians. Most of them seeing this trail of bodies that they've left in their wake, are going specifically for the one labeled Valenta Popovsky. Uh, all but 2 missing, and the 2 wounds that is inflicted, it's almost like they didn't happen at all. It's like a flash of dark energy in the spot of the wound, and they just disappear immediately. They lunge back, lashing out with claws and teeth, and all but 1 of the Valachian guards fall. Further west, not far from the Blue Water Inn, which is now the direction that these 2 concerts are heading in. Manu, you are still fighting against 2 vampire spawn and several swarms of bats. You are fighting alongside Irina Kolyana, the wolf hunters Soldar and Yevgeny, a mysterious outsider to Barovia who has been staying at the end, and several townsguard. Soldar has fallen in battle in the fight, doesn't, and the fight doesn't appear to be going in your favor. What are you doing?
I would attempt to try and sway the fight in our favor by just keep attacking one of the vampire spawn.
Okay. Go ahead and roll a couple of attacks.
Like how many exactly?
Just like I'll say 3.
Okay. I'm gonna roll for guiding bolt. Total is 2 20s and a 24.
All 3 hits. Scout's meme of does a 28 hit. That's pretty good.
Alright, this is gonna be a lot of damage here. You know what? I'm just gonna roll this digitally. It'll be a lot easier. Total of 37 radiant damage.
Oof. And what were those 3 attacks?
What the
I know you said guiding bolt, but was it 3 guiding bolts or what all?
yeah. Three guiding bolts.
You want to describe that for us?
Oh, hold on just a sec. I actually don't have the spell slots to do it all at level 1, so 2 level 1s and 1 level 2. So the total damage would be 40 radiant damage.
40 minus 40.
And it's basically desperation fighting because we've just been, you know, we got our asses kicked at the coffin maker, and we've just been we scattered to the 4 winds, and now we're just trying to fight for our lives.
And what type of damage is that?
Radiant damage.
Radiant damage. You seem to really weaken, like hobble one of these 2 vampire spawn, and the kind of like bright radiant energy that just burst off 3 times where your spell hits, it kind of seems like it's not it's been unable to kind of regenerate that damage the same way it has with some of your other attacks. Seeing this kind of like change of events, and you almost actually go ahead and make your choice of perception or an insight check.
I'll do insight. A 10.
Okay. Seemingly you don't really notice anything particular, but kind of suddenly, almost like seeming like they're maybe shaken by that attack or something. The two vampire spawn and all of the swarms of bats immediately break out of combat and start heading west as quickly as they can. Rictavio's going to go over and heal Soldar for not a whole lot. Soldar and Yevgeny are going to make a couple of attacks at the vampire spawn with their bows until they get out of range. Miss, miss, and a hit for. Okay, good to know. Okay, and them heading west are hot on the heels of Ricky, who had been charmed by Strahd, and requested that he meet him at the church. He'd just been running in that direction ever since, paying little mind to the devastation going on behind him, and he'll be arriving at the church shortly. Sonny, you're sitting in the back row of the pews in the Church of St Andral. You find yourself and most of the church's congregation to be a captive audience to a sermon being given by Count Strahd von Zarevich, towering over a cowering Father Petrovich. You have learned the folklore behind the upcoming holiday of St Andral's feast before Strahd told you what he said to be the true story behind the legend. In this moment, a singular bat comes fluttering into the church from somewhere up in the belfry. It flaps in circles and chitters around Strahd's head while chittering. Strahd stops his lecture for a moment to listen in before turning his malevolent gaze upon you, Sonny. And it would seem that my dear friend has done me the courtesy of bringing me the bones of this Saint Andral. Would you please bring those to me, my dear?
Hey, listen. I don't like what you're saying. I don't particularly like you, but for some reason, I'm really liking what you're saying right now. And yeah. And Sonny brings the bones up and hands them over.
Okay. He upturns the bag and out clatters this little metal box, kicks it over to the side, and there's several bones lying in it. Picks them up, and in his hand, he kind of holds them lazily while just like observing them. And kind of in an instant, his fingernails like grow like 3 times their length, and you look at his face, and it almost becomes like more, under your current condition, he's still Daddy Strahd. He's looking real hot, but there's more like mean and grotesqueness that comes out. You see the fangs glinting,
Yeesh.
and he crushes the middle of the bones, disintegrating the center while a black plume of smoke energetically just like bursts forth, and the ends of the bones just clatter onto the ground. Seeing this, Father Petrovich looks utterly defeated. He's looking back to his congregation, trying to think of any way he could salvage this situation, perhaps at least, protect some of his people. He does start kind of murmuring a mantra-like prayer under his breath. Sorry. And at that moment, there's like a swell of noise up in the rafter of the church and down through the belfry, just like dozens upon dozens, and quickly swelling to just like uncountable numbers of bats just like swarming around the congregation. And they start swarming around, the people also sitting in pews who are still enraptured, just like looking forward at Strahd, but like very like starting to nervously fidget in their seats as these bats are kind of like lurching down. Father Petrovich finishes this kind of incantation he's doing and says, don't you let your foul creatures hurt my people. Behind me, everyone. And he is going to cast Spirit Guardians. And he calls forth these spirits that flit around in about 15 feet around him, kind of protecting zone. And a lot of the bats that are fluttering around just like glow in this kind of like divine light and just flop down dead on the floor. But still, there's just more and more bats coming. Strahd kind of grins as he looks over his shoulder at kind of like the mayhem that's ensuing in the church right now. And he turns back to Father Petrovich and says, well, I hope that prayer was fulfilling, because it will be your last. I'm going to kill you now, Father Petrovich. And I won't be making the same mistakes I've made before. Strahd goes up to him. None of you that had visited the church before had noticed, but beneath his robe, he pulls out kind of like a comically large mace that you wouldn't believe this frail man in a robe would be able to hide, but there it is. And he says to Strahd, do your worst, but our faith will outlast you. And he's gonna go swing right at his face. And Priest has
Good luck.
What to hit?
I sure hope he kills Strahd in one hit right now.
A +2 to hit. So yeah, that hits, which is
You have defeated the curse of Strahd. Achievement unlocked.
for maximum damage, 6 points of bludgeoning damage, which goes right against his jaw and just dislodges in this grotesque way, where like the front of his face is this way and the bottom of his jaw is out. And he kind of looks down, and almost just like an instant, like a ruby flash in his cheeks, and it just like clicks back in place, and he spits out a little bit of blood, which burns the wooden floors as it hits. He says, I think you're a little old to be relying on such childish things as faith. Maybe it's time your faith had a true challenge. Ricky is waddling in, kind of like dopey-eyed, like what's going on, into the church at this point. Strahd's gonna make a couple attacks against Father Petrovich. Hit, which is not going to be a slashing. It's going to be a grapple, and then it's going to go for a bite attack, which also super hits. And then Father Lucian going weak at the knees, just losing just too much blood, almost kind of, like a raisin, just folding in on himself, his cheeks caving in. He clatters to the floor there, unconscious. Manu and the others in his group now would have caught up to the vampires, who are spider climbing all over the outside of the walls, just out the walls of the church, just outside of reach.
If they're not really doing anything, I'd bust into the church.
Busting through the door, you see this scene of just like an over. It's well, it's hard to see really, because there's just swarms of bats floating everywhere. Also, I failed to mention right at the moment that Father Lucian went down, the spirit guardians also went down, which you wouldn't necessarily have seen that, Manu, but Sunny would have. So yeah, make a perception check with disadvantage.
Where's that? 11.
11. So yeah, you're getting flapped in the face with bats. You're having to slap off like bites from a bunch of them. You're not really seeing much of what's going on inside.
To try and quell the tide of bats, I would cast Word of Radiance to try and thin them out.
Ooh, what does that do?
You utter a divine word, and burning radiance erupts from you. Each creature of your choice that you can see within range, which is only 5 feet of me, so it's just like everything directly around me,
Okay.
has to make a Constitution saving throw.
I'll just make one for the whole group, because there's an uncountable number of bats in here, which is a 19, and I don't know what bats have plus. I gotta figure that out real quick, though.
Unless they got like a really big negative, I don't think it matters.
What was the save?
It's a DC 14.
But what type of...
Oh, Constitution.
Yeah, that's just a 0, so a 19.
Yeah. So it appears ineffectual.
So yeah, you try to cast the spell to kind of cut through the swarm just to see what's going on, but you're just getting slapped in the face by wings and little nicks and scrapes all around your turtle face. It is just then, however, that you see the little boy Yeska, kind of like, only a little bit above knee height. You can see this kid because he, isn't as obscured. He's walking with the same bag that you had found in the coffin maker's shop that was containing the bones. And he is slowly just kind of like making a zombie-eyed march outside with it.
Uh, I'll I will attempt to snatch the bag from him because that needs to go in its place.
Okay. Go ahead and roll dexterity.
Nope, that's a 2.
I got a 3. So he just like is able to just like sidestep around you without making any big effort out of it, and continues to just like walk down the couple steps into the path, into the road. um, and at this point, Strahd's consorts are showing up right behind the crowd that you showed up with, Manu. And shortly behind them would be the rest of the militia and Tegan. Um, the boy kind of stops just short of this crowd, uh, and holds the bag up and upturns it. And an object comes tumbling out and down onto the road, uh, and then face up with blank eyes and sunken cheeks is the decapitated head of Father Petrovich. Um, and it's at that moment you, Manu, specifically here, and everybody else outside, starts to hear just like utter like blood curdling screaming going on from in the church. Ricky and Sonny, you both suddenly um, feel kind of like a knee-jerk reaction, like some of your agency has been given back, and you're suddenly wondering like why you've been idly standing by and doing nothing while these terrible things are taking place in front of you. And the people of the church are now starting to crowd each other, starting to, crawl and trample over each other, trying to just get out of this church as fast as possible. And the windows just like break and just like bats start flooding out, every open hole in this church. So Manu kind of like bullying you aside, Manu, like people are just like shoving you to get through the front door to just like run away from this situation.
Everybody, watch out for a crowd crush.
Yeah, to avoid crowd crush, I'm going to hide in my shell.
We need to open up a second exit point. Let's, from my vantage point, what's going on in the church?
So there's still just like loads of bats flapping around, so it is a little bit difficult to see most of it, but it seems like Most of the people of the church are just like crowding through like kind of like the narrow exit hallway and just like crushing and trampling over each other trying to get out, kind of making a narrow bottleneck that's preventing your escape unless you want to jump through a window that has broken glass in it.
Um, I think even though I have my agency back, I think Sunny just kind of like staggers to a seat and is just like kind of done with all of this and not sure what to do. And it is so well, I guess you said it's mostly just bats.
Yeah, Bats
Um,
and Strahd up on the pulpit.
you
And I
know
think
what? Yeah,
Ricky is gonna
um,
join you sitting next to where you sit, and he just looks like hollow and tired and defeated.
I think Sunny will dramatically like scream over the body of the decapitated body of the father. Like, what the fuck is going on? Just like, I don't understand what is happening. I'm upset. Somebody needs to acknowledge that I'm upset.
Strahd turns his shoulder, looks over at you with kind of like a sideways grin. He says, "Ah, such fun. It has been too long since I have paid the visit to Valaki. It is a shame I must be going so soon." And he just casually starts walking down the center of the aisles. He does pause momentarily when he gets to the back row where you and Ricky are. Um, and he looks specifically at Ricky and says, "My dear friend, you look unwell. You look tired of this. Perhaps I could offer you something fresh. If you should agree, I'll have a carriage waiting outside. Just take it." And he attempts to continue walking out, past you, Sunny, and then would be walking past you, Manu. Um, I think this crowd is like officially like rushed out and kind of started to disperse. Um, I like to imagine that while this is happening, you're like a literal spinning turtle shell since you've done that. So you're the puck in what's the name of that game? Crossfire? That just spins. Anyways, uh, yeah, he just walks out of the church. His consorts that have arrived quickly sidestep the crowd that's gathered outside. This would be um, the outsider Rictavio. Irina is kind of standing back, noticing that this is pretty tense situation. Um, but at this point, the militia is rushing up, and Tegan is hot on the heels of the militia, I think.
Yes. Um, do I see the bag that the kid had with the bones?
He's well, at this point, he would have left screaming. He probably dropped it. Um, it's probably a short distance away, maybe 10, 15, 20 feet away from where Strahd is now standing. Pretty close to also where the severed head is.
are we in table plop at all right now?
I didn't have a scene open
Okay, no, that's
for
fine. I just
visuals,
wanted to
but
make sure. I don't need it. I just didn't want to be left out if we did have one.
so yeah, the militia is kind of like forming a horseshoe almost shape, kind of like a big crowd in front of Strahd. They're wielding pitchforks and hand axes and torches, and they seem to be a little bit intimidated to hesitate, but they're slowly encroaching as Strahd is standing there menacingly with his two consorts and two other vampire spawn that are spider climbing all around the outside of the church, and just so many bats that are flooding out of the church. Believe, Tegan, you're the only one outside. You could probably find Irina, which is the person you know that's here. I think Ricky, Manu, and Sunny are still inside the church.
If I see Irina, I'm going to actually try to advise her to uh, get away. You should go back to the hotel.
Just, I think that's a good idea. And she turns to start to leave. And then almost like a Gary Oldman, and which was that Bram Stoker's Dracula, where he's like, "See me." Anyways, he he calls out and says, "Irina, my love, come with me, my dear. This is no place for you." And she turns, but so she's facing his direction again, but she is very intently averting her gaze as to not lock eye contact with him. She says, "No, you truly are a devil. I want nothing to do with you." And he kind of sighs and looks down. And he says, "Very well. But one day soon you will understand that you are my beloved, and you have been for many lifetimes. You will be my wife, Irina. But I will not force you by my side. If you have to travel all the way to the western borders of my lands and back again, perhaps then you will know there is no place safe for you here, no place that is not by my side." With that, he kind of reaches out to something invisible, almost like he's, threading his fingers into fabric or hair. And then there's just like this orange and red smoke erupting from between his fingers, and then just kind of like fire bursts, and then smoke kind of like hits the ground like lightning. And I'm sure some of you are familiar with what a nightmare is, but this very large Clydesdale black horse that is just like burning smoke from his skin, and it's near its feet and mane and nose. It's almost like hair of living fire. And he is going to attempt to just get on the back of his horse. And then his two consorts are going to join him on the back. And I think it's at that point that the entire militia is going to rush in on him to try to make a single attack. Oh, that's nothing. Why is that nothing? Okay, I'll simplify it this way. Sorry. Bear with me. Oops. Can anybody tell me offhand what it... Oh, no, no, no. Okay, I have it here. Ha! So, they all attack as a united unit. I rolled 50 attacks just now. Sorry. For the weight, 15 hit. And I only rolled damage once, which was only one. So it's going to be 15 points of bludgeoning damage, which is just like, it's like it didn't even happen. Like Sonny saw in the church how his jaw dislocated and just like went back like it was fine. And he just on the back of this flaming horse just like flies up about 30-40 feet into the air, and he's gonna cast Fireball.
Oh no.
And I'm gonna make this crowd make a single dexterity save because I'm not gonna do that 50 times again. Which is a natural 3.
Oh no.
What's that? D6? 1, 2, 5, 6, 7. Which fire damages the entire militia to death. So just within an instant, this swarm of militia tries to make one bold move against Strahd and his consorts, and they just, you know, take the attack like it was nothing and fly up into this air dramatically as fuck on this flaming horse and throw down a fireball, leaving them just a smoldering pile of ashes. And they're streaking off in the sky, leaving a trail of flames in their wake out of distance beyond sight. There are still swarms of bats flooding out of the church, and there are still 2 vampire spawn that now look a little bit without guidance. What are y'all doing?
Um. Well, first of all, I hate to do this to myself, but would I have been in range of the fireball?
This was basically like, I should give you a little visual. How do I take a screen cap again? There it is. Download. But short answer is no. You would have been smart enough to stand back from all of that damage.
Okay.
But I do want to show this real quick. How do I find that? There it is. That's basically the fireball that just took place outside of the church. So as some of the dust is settling, you see past like this once you were, seeing the backs of this kind of massive crowd of people that you were counting on really helping you all out in this fight. And then just a sudden explosion, and they're just not in front of you anymore. And kind of like through the smoke, you still see that there's still a couple vampires spawn just being really spooky, clinging to the outside of this church, and which is still, expelling just a whole bunch of bats.
I'm going to come back to a point of so the bag that had the bones in it
Is lying
which
empty a few feet away from the severed head of Father Lucian. That would be pretty close to this pile of smoldering bodies, kind of probably on the other side of it from you. Irina's like, "Are you okay? I can't believe that just happened. Is he gone? Did he really leave?"
for now it would seem.
She kind of shivers there. Sunny and Manu, what are y'all doing? At this point, the church has it's completely emptied out of people, and it is mostly emptied out of bats.
Could you remind me what the what was it called? The Dark Pacts? What
The
the
dark gift.
Dark Gifts. Could you remind me what happened to everybody?
So you would definitely notice sitting right next to you, Ricky has no mouth.
Yeah.
I don't think you've seen Manu or Tegan yet, but to remind you, Tegan has bat ears, and Manu you wouldn't actually see from the outside what his would be.
Okay.
I don't know. This has all been very frightening, so I'm just cowering in my shell.
Yeah, Sonny, you're sitting next to Ricky. You think you might be the only two people left in the church. Manu
Okay.
is in the hallway in between where you're sitting in the church and the exit.
I think Sunny like stands up really quickly and grabs Irina and like gets right in her face.
Oh, Irina's
and,
not
like,
in the church.
Oh.
Irina's still outside.
Okay, well then Sunny does none of that. I guess Sunny just kind of like looks around and like surveys all the destruction or whatever, the beheaded body, the probably scattered church, considering all the frantic running away.
Yeah, definitely broken pews. Looking around, you would probably like spot when looking for the exit, Manu's shell just kind of like sitting there without head or
Yeah.
limbs sticking out of it, just kind of slowly rotating on its axis and wobbling a bit.
So I think Sunny just like wordlessly, like still kind of just like shaking, reaches into her pack and pulls out the one dream pastry that she's held on to this whole time since the very first time we bought them, and just kind of like splits it up for and gives some to oh no, never mind. I forgot they're kids. They're I never mind. I think she would have probably disposed of that at some point off camera.
Again, reminding you, like sitting
Yeah,
where you were, it was basically just Ricky and Manu's
and
shell that you
Manu's
see. So,
shell.
and then the beheaded body of Father Lucian are basically the only people left in this
Okay.
immediately.
I'm just gonna kind of wordlessly like slog my way outside then. I don't want to be here no more.
And then you look outside, and there's the bag that you had done your very best to bring to the church in time. That's just like sitting discarded on the floor, pretty close to the head of Father Lucian, and then this smoldering pile of bodies that you had only heard the explosion from inside. On your way out, do you just like walk past Manu, or do you tap him on the shell or anything?
I think I give him like a like a like it would be a secret knock if we had one, but it's just like a noticeably interesting knock. And kind of just pass right by him, walk outside, and I think maybe uh pick up the bag and just kind of like huck it on the fiery what remains of like the whatever is still a smoldering.
And so Tegan, you do see Sunny walking out and doing this, and Sunny, after you look at the fabric kind of burlap sack that you threw into the pile of fire, just like kind of go up in flames. You do see Tegan and Irina kind of on the other side of this burning pile from where you are.
Um, what happened? What happened to you, y'all? I kind of asked Tegan and Irina.
I tried to get guards to help, and um, the little vampires kept knocking all of us down, and then people gathered, and she's just waving around. At this point in time, Tegan is in something of a daze. Then people got blown up, and Tegan just starts to cry a little bit.
Yeah, I think Sunny just sits down on like the maybe the front steps of the church, and it's just like we're supposed to be we were going to school. We were going to school. It wasn't supposed to be like this.
So as you sit down
I'm
on
35 now and everyone's dying.
you sit down on the front porch. You hadn't noticed. Tegan, you probably would have noticed and maybe would have thought to warn, but we'll just say you didn't because you didn't. That there are still vampire spawns spider climbing around the outside of this building. But most of the bats have kind of just like flown off outside of the walls of the town. And you don't really notice that this artificial dark, it is getting to be late morning, afternoon, but this whole time since the vampires were sprung from the coffin maker's shop, it has been like an artificial dusk. Like it feels like night out, even though you woke up pretty early in the morning and hadn't been awake for very long. But now you know, being obviously and understandably very distracted, you don't really notice that you know, this kind of like dusk is starting to lift and appear more like you know, still very gloomy and overcast, but what a usual afternoon would look like in Barovia. um and when you're sitting down to like give your proclamation, Sonny, you hear just two ungodly shrieks from like right above you. One vampire was like creeping up, like trying to like give you a little bite or something, but then they look like they're just starting to burn, and they just start rushing off towards the west. They may or may not get intercepted by the Morning Gate guards. That's a nope. That's a nope. That's a nope. And they just like blow right through the gates, spider climbing over, just avoiding the guards and like rushing out of sight, their skin seeming to burn the whole way. Um, so now truly it does seem like any danger has passed. I think Irina kind of shivers at that point. It's like, well, I saw, I guess, the middle and a bit of the end there, but what kicked this all off? Why was Strahd even here? I just left you. I saw you like 5 minutes ago. How did I was just at the inn, and then I saw you, Sonny, running by through the window, yelling something about go to the coffin maker shop. So we went there, and there's vampires here, or were what? How did this transpire? Is what I'm trying to get at.
Well, we I don't even remember. What why did we go to the coffin maker again?
He
Because
he had the bones,
Mhm.
Oh yeah.
and then he told us they were in his storage room, but we found them somewhere else. But we were like, let's steal his shit because he's an asshole, and yeah, that got most of us killed.
Yep, pretty much.
And Sonny, now you do see that Tegan's ears are like these fuzzy pink, kind of like bat-like ears.
Tegan, what? And I just kind of like gesture at like, what are those? But less more frantic and anxiety ridden than I maybe just sounded right now.
Tegan starts to feel around her head and then just looks at Sunny and just kind of blanches, and I don't know.
What happened while I was running? Ricky's in there with no mouth. You've got fuzzy ears.
What
Manu's just in his shell. I don't even know what he's doing.
what do you mean no mouth?
Just cut, and I kind of like gesture to come with me to go check on Ricky. Good old
And
no mouth
you
Ricky.
walk in, and Ricky is kind of sitting there. Most of the pews around you are pretty broken. He's basically like found the one solitary seat where he could do like kind of a kneel with two shoulders and kind of his head's down. He is looking pretty broken.
Hey, same.
When you say that, he kind of looks up and looks over at you, Tegan, and you're startled to find where his mouth should be. It's just skin.
Huh.
I think he notices your kind of blank expression, and his eyes kind of go up in a like sad look and puts his head back down again. and then you hear from inside your head Ricky's voice. It says, I don't know, I think I just want to be alone for a while.
Okay.
I want to do like a comical like, oh yeah, for sure, Ricky, and then just like, what? That was in my head.
Um.
I think Irina comes walking in behind you, and then kind of looks in, is kind of teetering on the hallway in between the front door and the main area of the church, kind of staying by Manu and looking at is Ricky okay? And then she starts kind of wobbling Manu. It's like, Manu, it's safe to come out.
No, it really isn't. It's not. This place just isn't safe. Like it's not safe to be where you think it's safe.
I'd be so happy if we had like if you had like a little echo you could put on your voice every time you're in your shell.
Required homework. Steven needs to download voice mod. That's not actually required. You do what you want.
No. Yeah, I don't think Sunny's gonna try to convince him on you. Like, life in Shell sounds pretty good right now.
It is quite small though.
So yeah, your allies Ricky and Manu are both in kind of a semi-catatonic state. They don't even seem like they're in the space to start processing this with you yet.
Yeah. Tegan is just caked with her own blood and mud from when she's fallen down. Even if the ground isn't muddy, the mixture of the dirt and the blood.
Yeah, y'all look a mess, I'm sure.
Can
And
we?
and normally pretty much it's always been the thing with Tegan that since prestidigitation can clean her, normally by now she'll have started cleaning herself, but at this point she's just done.
Ricky, ironically, just sparkling armor, just like the cleanest armor. So I'm pretty sure that's what he bought from Craftsman Shop.
Yeah, he
Mhm.
did.
So
Can
Ricky
we-
the person is very defeated, but he looks the freshest out of all.
Well, that and the only time he went down, he was still inside. Both Manu and I went down in the dirt.
I think Manu went down out a second story window. I think he was jumping out a second story window, and then an opportunity attack took him to 0.
Yeah, that
Yep.
I think that's what that was.
Can
Yeah.
we just go back to our room? We have a couple days of rooms, right? I, I think Manu paid in advance for like a couple
Yeah,
nights or
for
something.
like 2 or 3 days. Yeah.
I think 3
Okay.
days, which you've used one
Yeah.
of, so you got tonight and tomorrow night paid up. I think Irina chimes in and says, I think that's a good idea. Ricky, Manu, are you coming with us, or should we leave you in peace for a moment?
I think I'm gonna kind of go for a walk and try to clear my head.
Okay, as y'all are, I think Ricky says, well, doesn't say anything, but the three of you, the four of you, including Irina, hear in your head, I just need some time. I'll be by later. And at that moment, I think there's a few people walking into the church behind you. A couple of the guards, along with Rictavio, the pointed-eared and hat-wearing outsider that was also staying at the Blue Water Inn. Manu, you saw very impressively he reach out and touched one of the vampires who just disintegrated in front of you. So you might be quite taken with this individual at that point. But
who was this?
this was Rictavio, the kind of elven-looking gentleman with a kind of handlebar mustache and wearing it almost looks like a trucker cap, the high fantasy version of a trucker cap, walking with kind of a cane that was also revealed to be a sword cane because he had made a couple attacks with that too. That was one of the several people that Sonny was able to bring out of the inn to help in the fight. And he's walking in and he says, well, you're not going to like this, but you're going to have to burn that body. Pointing over to the beheaded priest. You're gonna have to burn, well, you're not going to have to burn any of those bodies out there, but any of the bodies out on the streets out there, you check them for bites. You're going to have to burn the ones with bites. One guard says, we bury bodies here. We do not burn the dead here. He says, all right, but you're going to have a big problem on your hands. You don't burn these bodies. Mm-hmm. And then I think the other guards just, it's like, we've not had a vampire within these walls in generations. Not even my great-grandparents. I think y'all are walking out at this point, and that's about the end of the conversation you're hearing, unless you're sticking around. But you going off to the, back to the Blue Water, at least 3 of you? 4 including Irina?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You try the front door and it is bolted at that point. You do also know that the door to your upstairs room is another like outside staircase that goes up. So I don't know if you knock on the obviously bolted door, or if you try the other one, or if between the 4 of you you try both. Or if you just utterly give up in defeat at the... It's like, a fucking door. Just like, after a day I've had, I can't deal with a fucking door.
Exactly. It's like, now I'm being defeated by furniture.
I think there's a little bit of scooching of furniture after a moment. And one of the shuttered windows, because you notice that the windows are shuttered up at this point. One kind of like plank moves, and he says, "Who is it? What's going on outside? Is it safe to open? Who's there?"
The devil came, had a bunch of little minions. Things seem to be done now. I don't think anywhere is safe, but you can let us in.
I'm not quite sure I understood that. Who are you? They're like looking. You could see like part of a face, but it's like an awkward angle. They can't really see your face or all of you, and probably not hearing well. Like, kind of wanting you to identify yourself and like reassure that the danger is over outside, and maybe didn't feel like that was very persuasive.
Tegan and Manu and Sunny and Ricky, we have rooms here.
I think you hear kind of a and kind of like a this kind of scooching and a like a heavy wooden like crossbar lifting from the door, and then the creaking of the doors open, and uh, what are their names? You see Davian and Danica standing there, the Mardikovs that own the inn. And Danica is kind of clutching behind her, their two sons, Brom and Bray. And they say, get in quickly. Tell me what's happening.
Devil raided the town, destroyed the boat. Well, I don't know that. Sorry.
And as
Was
you're talking, kind of ushers everybody in real quickly and closes the door quickly behind you. Doesn't latch it right away, but does have their arms like above the crossbeam.
the priest is dead.
There's a bunch of vampires everywhere.
Still, and they drop the crossbeam immediately.
I mean,
and, like go back to the window and like board that up a little bit more. And Irina says, "No, I think they've all. I think they've all gone."
See, you think that, and that's when there's more vampires.
That does seem to be the way the stay has gone, yes.
You know, I think uncharacteristically angrily, Sunny kind of like gets up in their face and is like, you know what? Show us your neck. You're not a vampire, are you? Show me your neck. And
Uh, oh, okay. And then Davian kind of no worries, and pulls down part of his heavy coat, and shows you, and kind of like turns around 360 degrees so you can see the back of his neck, the sides, the front. It's like, does that satisfy you, or do you need to behold the naked necks of my wife and children too?
show me the necks.
He sighs, and they both, the three of them, do present themselves for use. Like, and then Danica kind of snappishly says at you, like, satisfied?
Yeah, that's good. You're cool.
All right, well, now then satisfy us. Tell me precisely what was going on and what is going on. And we locked the doors because we heard there was a kerfuffle. Somebody said vampires, and we just needed to defend our inn.
Well, you know, there's the church, and the sacred bones went missing, and we tracked that to the coffin maker, but then upstairs there was a bunch of freaking vampires. And at
Vampires
some
here? That
yeah, yeah.
I didn't hear that mistaken. When I heard vampires earlier, I thought surely. But for real, they were here. That is. I know they exist, but we have not had to deal with vampires in our town in so many generations. We thought it impossible. We thought we were safe.
Well, that's probably why the bones were taken, to remove that safety. Anyway, bunch of lesser vampires were there. And then at some point in time, quote unquote, the devil himself showed up to join them. Um,
Count Strahd,
it,
you mean? He was here?
yeah,
Oh,
he killed a bunch of people really quickly.
I'm afraid that
He,
tracks.
and I saw the head of the priest, so that's a thing. And bear in mind, I'm still looking absolutely pathetic at this point.
Well,
Um,
if please, if there's anything else, please tell me. But while we are listening, can we offer you food? Your rooms are paid up if you want to relax instead. But anything we could do to be of service.
maybe later. Right now, I just need to sit somewhere and cry.
Very well. I will not pester you with further questions at this time. Please make yourself at home. Be more comfortable upstairs, or be with your people in the common area, whatever you prefer.
Okay, thank you. Anyone else?
Yeah, I'm going to bed. Or at least to the room. We'll see if
Yeah, it
I.
is like noon or like 1 p.m. or roundabouts. Like it has not been. Uh, it's definitely not bedtime. On though, I would not blame any of you if you felt like it was.
Um. Actually, before I go there, I think I want a couple drinks.
Okay.
Can I? Can I just? Could you just send a? I'm gonna go to my room. Could you send up a bottle of something very, very strong?
I'm afraid the strongest we have is wine, but uh I don't have the prices in front of me, so that's part of the reason. But also
Okay.
because you did such good for the town, I will send you up, uh, four pitchers on the house. No worries.
That sounds good to me. Right, and I guess I'll trudge upstairs. I assume it's upstairs. I don't know.
Yeah, and it's awkward because you like have to walk outside, turn to your left, walk around the corner, like U-turn, then go upstairs and then open a door, and then you're in a hallway to where uh, some of the
Mm-hmm.
guest rooms are.
Actually love buildings like.
Mm. But describing them to somebody who like can't be there in real life to like know what you're talking about, it's a little bit.
Yeah.
A little bit. I think Irina says, I think, I'm sure I have not had nearly as traumatic of a day as it seems like you have, but I too feel like I need to lie down and turn brain off. Speak, listen, no more. Yes. Manu, are you coming? You staying at the bar?
I had gone out for a walk. I wasn't.
Oh,
heading
right,
back.
right, right. You did say that. Sorry.
I am going to the coffin maker though.
Okay.
I want to see if he's still there.
That is a good. I like that. That's a good idea. And he's gonna be covered in dirt too. Well, not covered, like he was actually covered, but just like very dirty looking now.
Yeah. Also, Scout, you'll notice that Tegan is just kind of slowly shadowing you, letting you take the lead as to where you're going, but Tegan does
Sure.
not want to be alone right now.
Right. I think Sunny just kind of like once we get to I forget do we have like one big shared room
It's
or
one room with 4 beds.
okay, cool. I think once we get into the room, I just kind of like sit on the bed and uh wordlessly wait until we get wine.
Tegan won't even get in the bed. She just sits beside the bed with her back to it, just kind of teetering between being unable to cry because she's just too exhausted and kind of humming the "Don't you know you never split the party?" because
Something tells me Tegan is gonna be real insistent about that one moving forward.
And the ironic thing is, the party is not exactly unsplit at this point. You did come
No.
together, but Ricky is in the church, y'all are upstairs with Irina, and Manu's just having a little walk. I am super looking forward to split the party scene with, little wine and bed party upstairs with Sunny, Tegan, and Irina. And I'm looking forward to Manu grabbing the coffin maker by the shirt collars and demanding some answers. But y'all want to take a quick 15, maybe come back
Yeah,
at
sure.
7:50? Sound good?
Sounds good to me.
All right, see y'all in a bit.
Right. See ya.
I ran all of that in initiative.
All of what?
Basically, the session so far, if I didn't break initiative and just kept like 80 plus creatures,
Oh no,
like
I don't mind how you took care of it. It was nice.
I felt like if I didn't try to do something different, it would be like 6 months of 10 minutes. And
Yeah.
pretty soon I wouldn't have any players anymore.
Yep. Yeah, I feel like the rules are there to help you, not to like get in your way, you know? So just do whatever works best.
Yeah. As entertaining as the uh, adventures of Guard E were, yeah, it was time to fast forward.
Try to find real quick. It's not in there. There it is. Okay, we all back, I think. Sorry, it was just throwing me off that Scout's camera's off because I have like
Oh, sorry.
don't
Yeah,
show
I'll
non-video participants. So
for
it's
sure.
like,
I'll have it back on in just a little bit.
oh yeah, no rush. I think we're probably gonna pick up with Manu first. You would be coming around through the RSX stockyard. You are passing by like piles of body that's laid dead. And you come around and you see a little bit of a ways from the front door, like this person is still trying to army crawl away while bound. There is Henrik Vandervoort, gagged and shackled, just like inch at a time, just like trying to get away.
I'm just I'm gonna drag him back inside the coffin maker's shop.
Kind of probably bump his head on the threshold of the door as you get him into the main area. And he's looking mighty surly at you. He's kind of there in the fetal position, just bound and gagged.
I'm gonna take him into the larger room on the bottom that had all the coffins on
The coffin
display.
displays. Okay.
What's the situation with his arms? Like, how free are they?
This is basically just free enough to get some elbows around to get some crawling action on. Definitely can't be doing much else.
Is there enough play to like pin his arms to the ground?
What do you mean?
Like for them to just kind of lay flat against the floor.
I feel like you might have to retie a little bit. I feel like I was imagining they were kind of more bound in front.
I'll loosen it up enough so that I can pin one of his arms against the floor.
Okay, you do that.
And
He's kind of like yelling through his gag. Definitely when he felt like he was a little loose, he tried to struggle a little bit. But I think you were able to just like rage overpower him and get him where he wanted.
and then I'll dig into my Dungeoneer's pack, and I will take out 2 of the pitons and a hammer, and I'm basically going to crucify him to the floor.
Jesus, like,
Like
Jesus
like through
crucify him or like
like through his hands, just pin him to the floor with those.
brutal. He is gonna cry out, muffled of course because he's still gagged. Just the one hand you get to the floor. Or?
No, both of them, both hands.
So he is kind of like awkwardly, elbows locked to the side of his chest, hands pinned like to either side of his face. Is it face up or face down?
Face up,
Okay.
because I still want to maybe talk to him.
He is screaming through his gag and looking intensely, like fiercely at you and like wildly around.
Okay, well, don't worry. Just breathe a little bit. It'll be okay. Don't worry. I'm gonna take his gag out and put my hand over his mouth. That way he doesn't try and scream some more. Um, and I'm gonna tell him, why did you have all those vampires in the boxes? Like what are you doing? And
I'm
I'll slowly remove my hand from his mouth.
I'm doing nothing. What are you doing? Pinning me to the floor like this? This is inhumane torture.
Well, I mean, a lot of people died because of what was in those boxes, and you had them, and well, you told us that we could find the bones in that room, and I mean, we went in there and we found the bones somewhere else. So you lied to us for one, and then, uh, um, uh, and then there were all the vampires. So you had to know something. So I just tell me, uh, uh, tell me, just tell me.
Those creatures I had nothing to do with. I didn't put them there. You just broke into my home when they told you to go away. I thought maybe they'd make you go away.
That no, that doesn't sound right. That doesn't sound right. Um, you
Nah.
why did you have the bones? Like you had the bones. Why did you have the bones?
I was instructed to acquire them.
By by who?
I already told you before you bound me and gagged me. It's the accountant, von Holtz, Vasily von Holtz. Meanwhile, Arena's like, man, this wine is a little bit better than the one they serve at home. What do you guys think?
Uh, I know you can play with light earth. Do you have the cantrip that lets you play with water also?
I guess me?
Yes,
No, I don't. I have mold earth. I don't have
shape water.
Shape water, yeah, that's the one.
Okay. The wine will do.
You want dirt in wine? Fortified wine?
No, I was thinking that cantrip can freeze liquid,
That's right.
and my town is kind of agrarian, and
Y'all do wine
it's one of
slushies?
the ways that you can make alcohol stronger is to freeze it.
Huh.
Most people know the heating it up thing to distill, but you can also do it the other way.
Well, Tegan, I have another way to make the effects of alcohol stronger if you want me to show you.
Snort it?
And Sunny takes a full pitcher and just chugs it down nonstop instantly.
Make a
So,
Constitution save.
the secret is you drink more. Constitution
Save.
save. Okay. Oh, I don't know if any of you are into magic, but the new magic card,
Oh, the
magic.
sets that are D&D.
Yeah, yeah, I got a couple packs just because I don't play anymore, but I was
Hmm.
like, I want that art.
I looked at that because same, like I have technically 14 working decks in standard and then like 2 commander decks also, but I haven't played a game of Magic since like
Here,
2018.
I really like some of the they have it's technically not an alternate art card because it's just the only art they have for some of them, but like they have this like old school
Yeah,
monster manual style. Um
I feel like Facebook's been advertising to me this
yes,
like something
I've
called
gotten
Secret
quite
Lair, which is like Magic
yeah.
cards, but they're like special foil edition or whatever, not like more special than just foil cards that you pull out of
It's
booster
for
packs
just
or
like,
whatever.
hey, do you
And
want
one of
to
them was like the Dungeon Master, like the cartoon Dungeon Master. I was like, I
From the
almost want to have
80s.
that card like framed.
Yeah.
And I don't
yeah,
really give a shit about Magic anymore. I almost want that card framed.
the they have some alternate art lands that are the like AD and they're styled after the AD&D like books. Let me see if I can find a picture, but they look so fucking cool. Oh, but yes,
Yeah, sorry to
Constitution
get
saving.
track. Yeah.
No, I'm happy to get back. That is a 12.
Okay, you get maybe like 5 more words into your sentence and you are slurring really heavily.
Nice. That was the goal, I think.
And Irina's like, so the trick is to drink it fast? I think everybody
Here,
knows that trick, right?
you're not. No, I don't, Irina. I don't think you get it. Here, let me do it for you again. And this time pay really close attention. And I grab another pitcher and chug it down.
All right, con save with
Maybe not
disadvantage.
quite as quick. Although I probably think it's very quick. It's maybe a little slower and messier this time. That was a it's a 7.
You fall out of your chair and hit your head for 1 bludgeoning damage.
I don't think I even noticed it.
Irina's like, are you okay? Meanwhile,
I'm
Manu is being really dark, and talking in the most soft-spoken and delicate voice while doing it. What's going on with you?
Well, he said that it was
Vasily
Vasily
von Holtz, the accountant.
So where is Vasily? Where's he at? Like, does he live in town, or like where does he live?
Not in Valaki, I don't know. Borovia? Kresk? I don't know.
You're not being very helpful, you know.
I don't know. You have me pinned to a wall. What do you want? He says
Well,
floor, but or sure, he says wall. I said the wrong thing.
well,
I want Ricky's mouth back.
just I mean, things happened. It got really out of hand. There's a lot of dead people. Um, the priest is dead. Uh, Father, what was his name? I can't remember his name.
Father
Pet,
Lucian
Pet,
Petrovich.
Petrovich, yeah. Father Petrovich is dead. Uh, and it's all because of what you had in those crates. So it 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 it, it you couldn't have just not known. You had to have taken part in this somehow.
I just look. Vasily is a surprisingly influential man for an accountant. You do what he says. That's all I know. He told
Oh,
me
no.
to buy these bones, so I sought them out and bought them.
It still doesn't really sit well with me. I still think you know more than. Mm. But did you know that like just a few days ago we were just in school? Like we were just it was supposed to be different.
How was I to know any of this? To say I have just met you would be generous. I don't know
Well,
who you are, why are you here in these lands at all, why you are in my shop, why you have me pinned to the floor like some fucking animal. Who are you people that you do this to people?
well, I don't know why we're here either. It just seemed to kind of happen. So, um, I just. mm, The Father Petrovich is dead, though. There's 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 nobody. There's nobody at the church.
I hardly see how that is a concern of mine or yours. Will you just get these things out of my hands and let me off the floor? I demand this.
No, no, um, no, I can't do that. I can't do that yet. Um, um,
Meanwhile,
uh,
upstairs at the Blue Water Inn, Irina is holding up a picture and looks at Sunny, who is now like on her side on the floor, just like continuing to converse from that position. And she's like, like this. But before she does anything, she looks at you, Tegan, and it's like, it's okay. She drank too. And if I drink this one, there's only one left. Are you okay with this? Should we send down for more wine?
No, it'll be fine.
Okay. And she turns
If
back to you, Sonny, and it's like this, and tries to drink the whole pitcher without stopping. It's gonna make an Constitution save. And she belches loudly. for probably a good like 10 seconds sustained belch, and it literally does make her wig spin a little bit. And she's like, "Ooh, oh, ooh, ooh, I don't know how, Sonny, but I think you were simultaneously right and wrong." Anyways,
Well, let's test this. How right or wrong? Is your mind still on what your stalker wannabe boyfriend did to the town?
oh,
Is that still in your thought?
well, it is now. Thank you very much for that. Oh,
Here's another pitcher of wine, and I hand her mine.
okay. Manu, how is your enhanced interrogation going?
Well, I don't think he's gonna give me much else. I'm just kind of sitting there, kind of stuttering to myself, wondering what I can do. Um,
Make a perception check.
15.
Okay, kind of from the direction of the stairs, you do hear a somewhat familiar, like, whimpering sound.
Oh, he's still alive. What was his name? I can't even remember what we named him. I don't know if I wrote
You
it
didn't
down.
name him, but he was given the name Lancelot by a missing person.
Right. Oh, it really does me good to see that you're still alive.
He is cowering under the stairs. You kind of just like barely see the whites of his eyes kind of in the crack in between the steps of the stairs. He's kind of like looking out through and shivering. And then when he spots you, make an animal handling check.
A 23?
Okay, it's like he immediately darts out and like runs circles in front of your feet and like around both of your legs and kind of jumping up and down back legs, putting its front little paws on your chest. Like, oh, I was so scared. I was so scared. I was so scared. In dog, of course, which you don't understand, but you know, I think you do understand.
All right. With my hammer, I'll take the pitons out of the guy's hand, out of
Okay.
both of his hands.
Imagine you're not doing that with a surgeon's delicacy either. So he
Oh no.
screams a bit. It's like, oh, oh, and kind of cowers on the floor, almost like he's mustering up the like he's a very defeated position, but he's trying to like uh fake the amount of authority to say, no, just get out.
I'll tell him if you hear anything from this Vasily von Holtz, uh, tell the innkeeper at the blue, is it the Blue Water Inn?
Yeah.
I do have that written down. Tell the innkeeper at the Blue Water Inn and tell them to relay the message to either the turtle or his friends. And if you don't, then I'll be back.
He
And
kind of
then
shudders a little bit and says, I believe you.
and then I leave with Lancelot, and and just outside the door, I tell Lancelot, um, it really does my heart good to see that you're okay. You know, I had the beginnings of a speech going in my head, and I was going to kill him.
I think it's and he's very much more like a cat than a dog, just like you're trying to keep Stride exactly next to where your foot is landing, and very much like leaning his flank up against the side of your leg as you're taking your steps.
And I'll head back towards the inn with
Okay.
everyone else.
And upstairs, Irina is kind of wobbling in her stool, looking at you, Tegan. Sonny, make another Constitution save. Um, but she's like, you sure you want me to have this one? You don't want any? Are you not drinking?
I got a 9.
I think
Uh,
I'm lightheaded enough from the loss of blood, but thank you.
you are just like compulsively singing folk songs from your village. Very off key, slurring all of the words, which was hard to understand with your thick accent to begin with. But now it's like, are you even speaking common?
I might not be. I might be singing an orcish at this point.
Could be. Could know some folk songs from. So Manu, you're walking up the stairs. I think Lancelot probably requires you to pick him up and kind of underarm him for up the stairs. You step into your shared room. Uh, there are 3 empty glass pitchers rolling around on the ground. Sunny is on one, just like singing out of key, like rolling side to side. Uh, Tegan is like unresponsive isn't correct, but like not forthcoming with the interactions, is kind of like blank faced, and uh, uh, Irina is, looking like she's trying to commit to a dare that nobody asked her to do, with one final full pitcher of wine in her hands. Oh, Manu, you're here. Uh, would you like any of this?
No, no, thanks. I'm okay for now. I'm just kind of, I'm back. I'm all right.
She sighs and kind of looks down into it and falls over, spilling it all over herself, and she is unconscious and snoring.
I have a slight aside of a question. Wine is alcoholic because of the fermentation process. Does that count as rotten enough for Manu?
I mean, there's one way to find out. You'd have to
But
send
it
down for more wine because the last that's left is on the floor, but
Oh, send down for some cheese too. Let's see if that works as well.
speaking of which, I believe it's been at least 24 hours since the last time you've eaten a dream pastry. I'm not sure if it has been less time than that. It's been about one day because you haven't eaten one today.
no, not yet.
So yeah, make a Constitution save.
19.
Okay, good to know. think Lancelot gets down from your arms and starts licking Sunny and Irina in the face.
I just kind of ran across. Well, I mean, he ran across me, but it was while I was just out on my walk, and it was nice. He was down some alleyway and spotted me as I was walking by.
Did anyone notice where Ricky went?
He stayed back in the church,
Oh,
so he's probably still out that way.
oh. Hey, do you remember when I argued with you at the Standing Stones about splitting the party? We split the party. It didn't go well.
Yeah, I kind of yeah.
Tegan will, at this point, finally start to use prestidigitation to clean herself off.
It was a lesson very hardly learned.
Learning hard or hardly learning?
Bit of both.
All of the above.
Um, we still have we actually have a few things that we could do after we rest up a bit. I mean, we really need to just kind of uh take 10 here. But uh we can still find the elf with the carnival wagon, and we can speak to the burgomaster. And there's just a couple of things we can do in town, which I think we should, because if I don't know, we should try and fix some of its problems before they get any worse, like they already did.
Yeah, yeah. Hel- Helping the burgomaster maybe. Um, but they thought their town was safe and it wasn't. So yeah, but it's still morning. So we should do something like that now, maybe?
It is pushing a little bit into the afternoon at this point.
Let's at least take a short rest first. That way we can at least get some hit points back, and if anybody gets anything back on a short rest, that way we're not just going in with absolutely nothing, because everything's dangerous here.
Irina kind of gives a half snore and's like, one step ahead of you, mama.
Yeah, I think Sunny is kind of in the same position.
I will.
I don't need to rest, she says with her eyes completely closed.
It's a little drool coming out.
Yeah, we should just rest up a little bit first, and then we can go and collect Ricky, and uh, maybe he'll be doing a little better, but probably not by much.
I healed 5 hit points from a short rest.
Only 5?
Yeah, I rolled badly. Rolled very badly.
Um, what kind of weapon does uh Irina use?
Long sword. Non-magical longsword.
Uh, I'll ask her if she would maybe want to use a shield.
Uh, uh, right now?
Well, like if we get into a fight, you know, I don't really, I don't know, this shield isn't really like my thing.
Uh, I
So
it's a lot to think about at the moment when the ceiling is spinning for some reason. I've never used the shield before, but I'm sure I could pick it up if you show me how. Maybe bring this up at another time.
yeah, that sounds good.
I need better armor and a shield.
Oh, well, if you want the shield, then
No, she needs it too. We'll figure it out
I
when we're
mean,
feeling better.
she does have an AC of 17 because she is wearing uh, an armor, but you
like
have a
half plate.
pretty low AC.
All right, yeah, you can take my shield. I've actually decided that I do not need it.
Okay. I will add that I have a shield.
Half plate, yeah. Irina kind of shakes her head a little bit and tries to gets both arms on like two of the beds that are in the room and tries to get herself up and then firmly back down. It's like, uh, do you think you will be needing me?
No, it might be best if you stayed here and stayed safe.
Oh, okay, you know best. Okay, and she kind of snuggles up with Lancelot.
Yeah, Lancelot, you stay here too. It's dangerous out there.
Uh, will whimper at you a little bit.
I think that maybe we should try talking to uh, the elf with the carnival wagon first before we get into doing anything for the burga.
The guy that just managed to just tap and disintegrate one of the little leeches.
Yeah, that guy. He might have some useful insights that could help.
That seems reasonable.
What is our long-term goal here? Because
The let's see.
Sunny is kind of thinking, hey, we brought this girl here. That's what we were trying to do, right? And
Hmm.
We're
now
we're
I want to leave Barovia. I don't. Scout knows that's probably not possible, but Sunny is like pretty much done with this fucking place.
um we're we're supposed to be escorting Irina to Saint Markovia Abbey, which is actually not around these parts.
It's further along on the old Cyrillic Road.
Your
Looking at it.
sanctuary is in
Yeah.
another castle. Go away.
Damn it.
Yeah, the old Svalich Road. It's more more to the west.
Well, I think I'm not that interested in helping people any more than what we already did. We already fought vampires and some of us got killed. I'm ready to just get out of here.
I think we're all kind of in that boat, but I mean, I don't know. I have my feelings, but I also don't feel like we can just abandon these people to whatever terrible thing is going on here.
And Irina is snoring pretty heavily. You're pretty sure she's not hearing you say these things about her.
Terrible things are happening to us too. What about us, Manu? I say chaotic neutrally.
Yeah.
Well,
m-
uh, oh, go ahead.
Yeah, I kind of have to agree with that to an extent. I would want to help these people, like you're saying, most definitely. I don't want to abandon them to their situations. However, um, we are incalculably out of our depths, and as the medic of the group, one of the things that you always do is you evaluate this scene before you walk in so that you don't just add more victims, i.e., becoming victims yourself. And that's all we're really doing is we're not helping these people end their suffering. We're just adding our suffering to theirs.
That is the first rule of CPR.
Well, just imagine how like what would have happened. Like where were those crates supposed to be going? Like what if they got to to where they were going? Like that wouldn't have been good. That probably would have been a whole lot worse than what happened today. Even though today was really really fucking bad.
You're making a conjecture of a hypothetical to try and prove your point. That's not how argumentation works.
Well, let's just see what we can do around town. We don't have to leave town. Like we don't have to go to the weird haunted mansion or the Vistani camp or the abandoned village. You know, um, uh, uh, we can just talk with the elf guy and maybe do whatever for the burgomaster, but there's also some lady that hates him. Remember, we can talk to Lady Fiona uh Wachter.
Wachter.
Yeah.
What?
And she
I liked it when we helped the kids
at the windmill and the orphanage.
windmill and the kids at the orphanage.
Yeah, that
When
felt a
we
lot
deal with
more.
when we deal with kids, we seem to do all right for actually helping people.
New strategy: child body shields.
Well, then think about all those orphan kids. Like we should help the town so that we can help them. So it might help.
Yeah, I think.
I'll Manu, I'll help the town for the orphans.
I mean, it certainly felt a lot more
But I want
heroic
to talk to
helping
the
them.
Burgermeister or somebody here who knows what's going on and how to get the hell out of here and back to school. You know,
Uh,
um,
this
can I actually
this.
can you
Sorry, go ahead.
can y'all remind me how this all started? Were we just trying to make more money for school?
No, we got a letter in the tavern that was directly addressed to us.
But we weren't sent here through the school. It was like a side. Is this a side
No,
gig?
this was somebody walked
I,
up to y'all in a tavern when y'all were on break in between terms at school.
yeah, we were at the college bar, and some guy was like, "Here's a letter," and then and
That's what
then
I just
we
wanted
just
to make
kind of.
sure. It's been a little while.
And it was a case wherein it wasn't
And it also seemed
anything to
like
do with our school, but it was directly addressed to us and it was asking for help.
and also the person who delivered it, since you arrived in Barovia, you've kind of deduced that based on the way the person was dressed and that they were talking, that this person is one of the Vistani.
Which we know can't most of the people here cannot leave um Barovia at all. But the Vistani were noted as special to
Right.
us.
Well,
So
I'd
So
like to talk to these Vistani some more at some point.
okay, well, okay, well that's a thing. There are some Vistani nearby.
You were told of a Vistani
Southwest.
camp southwest of town, yeah?
Yep, southwest of town. There's a Vistani camp.
Is that the Wizard of Wines?
No, that would not be what that is, but
Okay,
Oh man,
a lot
so
closer to the
but
southwest
it
of town.
could be the Wizard of
we
Wines.
we could certainly go there and get shit faced for a day.
And I believe, I could be mistaken because maybe I neglected to do so, but I believe that the either Danica or what's his fucking name? I forget his name every time. Davian, one of the two Mardikovs, the owners of the bar that you're staying in. One of the two of them might have said something about there being a shortage of wine because they haven't received their latest delivery from the Wizard of
Oh,
Wines.
I don't think I have that one written down.
I might have
no,
neglected to mention that.
No, it sounds familiar. I just don't think I wrote that one down because I wrote down everything like after the fact, so I might have missed that one. All right. Which way would you guys rather go first? There's the wine, the burgomaster, or there's the lady that hates the burgomaster. And there's Rictavio with his carnival wagon.
And last you saw him was when you were leaving the church. That was the person who was arguing for burning the
Yeah,
bodies.
burning them all.
yeah. Well, I think we also ought to talk to the burgomaster because at this point in time, we've kind of cut our own little swath of a path through his town, and it might help to put our word in for what happened since we were involved. Might help to tell him what happened. And maybe he knows of a way to make it so that the town doesn't have vampires again.
Let's ask the Mardikovs first about him. See what kind of guy he is, because
Yeah.
I mean he could just get really mad at us.
Yeah, I don't care about most of this town at this right now, but I do want to see these orphans protected at least a little. So find out I'm down to find out more about the town from a fellow hater.
To be clear, though, y'all don't know necessarily where the Burgermaster's house is or where the Wachter house is.
Yeah, we'd have to
Let's
maybe
we could
talk
ask
to the
Davian and Danica.
yeah.
I'm sure they know.
I think before we start talking to people, we should make sure that Ricky is here also. That way we're not splitting the party anymore.
You know, Tegan, I think I agree with you.
I think Lancelot, who is partly snoozing next to Irina, makes a little bark that almost sounds exactly like "Never split the party."
Oh, that is just dreadful.
I'm going to chalk that up to a blood loss hallucination because otherwise it's a little too disturbing for right now.
It's quote unquote Barovia cute.
Um, yeah, Tegan will actually smirk at that.
So should we get Ricky first and then come back here?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or I mean, what on our way to out the door to go find Ricky, we might as well talk to the innkeepers and find out where the houses we're going to next are since we're already here.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Collect Ricky and then head over to one of them.
Easy enough. And again, you do have to walk outdoors before going back indoors to talk to the innkeepers,
That's right.
because of the way the split level works. But yeah, obviously they're right there, and the church is halfway on the other side of town.
I truly feel that the repeated mention of this architecture as Chekhov's gun.
I mean, but yeah, you see Danica there kind of scrubbing the bar, and she looks at you. I think you're stumbling a little bit still, and she kind of chuckles like, "No, not more wine, surely."
Oh, well, now that you mention it, uh, what- I guess no, not now that you mention it. No, we were wondering where if you could give us directions to the Burgermeister's house and who's the one? What is
Lady
her name?
Wachter.
Yeah, Lady
And,
Fiona Wachter.
where we could find Lady Wachter.
Oh, well, Lady Wachter's house is not far from here. You would go west just half a block past here. I'm sorry, east, and then turn north. It would be the only other orange roofed house on that street.
Thank you. And where would we find the Burgermeister?
Oh, the Burgermaster's house. That is not far from the town square. The road that cuts southwest from the town square kind of loops around, and then it's to the left. It's kind of across the street from the toy maker shop.
I'm just going to kind of lean into my party mates and mumble to them. I do not want to see what a Barovian toy maker is like.
Well, we know what the coffin makers are like.
Famous
Can't be,
in children's game Bone on a String.
the toy maker can't be
Come on,
much
kids, get
worse.
your string bone.
I wouldn't have said that, Manu. That's like tempting fate at this point, saying that.
Sorry, I missed that. What did Monty say?
I said that we know what a coffin maker in Barovia is like, so a toy maker can't be that much worse.
At least it's not raining. Oh wait.
Have y'all ever heard of a clockwork vampire?
Can't rain all the time.
All right. Well, thank you. Thanks, Davian. Thanks, Danny. And I think we're gonna head out for the day. If you try to get more wine while we're gone, if you can.
I mean, we still have a little on reserve, but we're running out of our better stock, and it's the last shipment is very late at this point. My husband is beginning to become concerned.
Yeah. So just try to get some more if you can, would you? Thanks.
I'll do my best from behind this bar, she says as you're walking out of earshot.
And I guess we walk out of earshot, or Sunny does.
And
Like-
y'all were heading to the church, correct?
Yeah, to pick up Ricky.
Yes.
All right, you get to the church. Outside, there's still a smoldering pile of bodies. There is a little bit of, commoners around engaging in somewhat of a cleanup effort, but it does seem a little bit a defeated effort at this point. You do hear some argumentative voices coming from inside.
I actually kind of figured that might have been. Okay, well, let's go see what they're. Let's go see what they're doing. We can't have them acting like children at a time like this.
You walk in, and the elvish person with the weird trucker cap is kind of gesticulating with his cane in the direction of there's kind of a sheet drawn over, and you could see the feet sticking out of Father Lucian, who is behind two of the Valachian guards and one person you haven't seen before, tall and dressed in fine furs. It looks to be, full armor, possibly underneath the furs, and slumbering by his feet are two giant mastiffs. And it seems like Rictavio, the outsider, is arguing about what to do with the priest and all the other dead bodies.
Well, you were saying before we left earlier that they should be burned, but why should the priest be burned if he doesn't have a head?
Listen, any dead bodies you find round here on these streets, if it's been bitten by a vampire and you see like it doesn't have a head, still's got a neck, you see those two little bumpies there? That's a vampire bite. You bury that body's digging itself out of that grave, and mouth and no mouth, it's still going to be a bigger problem on your hands than if you just burn this body and every other one that's out there. And these, pointing back towards the finely dressed gentleman and the two guards, simpletons over here are too rooted in superstitions and namby-pamby nonsense to, they feel like they gotta put these bodies in the ground for whatever reason, and I can't argue with them anymore.
Well, let's see what we are dealing with. You aren't. Never mind. I think my friend Tegan has something to say.
Compromise is a wonderful thing. Burn the flesh, bury the bones.
Yeah, I like that. I mean, you're not going to
Go
convince me, but
ahead
I
and
would
make
be.
a persuasion check with advantage.
Can I help? Oh yeah, with advantage. Sunny's real into this. Like, whoa.
Persuasion.
Now I know we've never met, but I know a good idea when I hear one, right, fellas?
Okay, the first roll was a 7, so with advantage. Oh wow, that's a total of 21.
Okay. You see this elegantly dressed man, kind of like some wheels turning in his head, like he's giving it consideration. But then he also looks at this man that was just gesticulating at him and calling him a simpleton, and looks very irritated, and kind of looks at the three of you that just walked in and is like, and who exactly are you?
That's a great question, but that's kind of rude to not introduce yourself. Who are you?
And he kind of very stiff jaw, heavy jowls as he's speaking. Is like, I am Victor von Vlakovich, the burgomaster of Valaki. I would
Good. We
expect
were
you to
looking for
know
you.
such in my humble town.
So
You strike me as outsiders who have not done me the courtesy of an introduction when you entered my borders. So, when you speak to me of courtesy, check your place. One of his
Right.
mastiffs kind of like lumbers its giant head up and kind of like very soft voice, like woof, that in your direction.
our place was in the oops. Our place was in the street fighting with the vampires. Where was yours?
Burgomaster has no place in battle.
Damn.
Anyways, this
Just
So
compromise of
we
yours,
were
it
going to be looking
intrigues me.
for you to let you know how all of this happened. But let's deal with that in a moment and first deal with the possibility of the dead people becoming vampires. Like, that's not a good thing.
I think the outsider, Rick Tavio, kind of scratches his chin and says, Well, I suppose and reckon that might do a little something. I mean, I ain't never seen him come back as just no skeletons. Yeah, I reckon that'll work. What you say, Burgermeister? And very like clenched jawed and reluctantly, like he really doesn't want to admit that this is a better idea. But being double persuaded, especially since that roll from you, Tegan. This is,
Press the advantage.
I suppose, it prudent. Very well. We'll forego burial ceremonies for our dead. Commence with the pyres. We will save the bones to later be interred. Now you, and turns to the three of you, say you had dealings in this chaos that erupted in my streets.
Yeah. Um. The priest, the bones of the saint went missing. And that apparently had something to do with the town's protection from vampires. And we were kind of asked to help him figure out what happened. And we dealt with the person who stole the bones originally was possessed by some kind of demon, and we dealt with that. And then we found out that the bones had been taken over to the coffin maker. So we went to him.
Who was it that
And
stole these bones?
one of the children at the orphanarium.
I need a name.
The name of the child or the name of the demon that was possessing him that
The name of the
did
thief
it?
of these bones.
That would have been the demon. I don't think it had a name.
Steps forward and is like, you think we bother with children's names? No.
To be clear, you would be aware that it was the gravedigger Milivosh that was
Yes.
the one who stole the bones. I
Oh,
don't know
yes.
if you're just covering for
I do
this
not
person.
want to tell him that.
I wouldn't say covering for him so much as like you're trying to blame the child when it was the demon. I'm not really covering for the kid so much as making sure that it's the demon that gets the blame for doing what the demon did.
The one who stole the bones is dead already.
So anyway, we went and talked to the coffin maker, and he told us that the bones were upstairs. And while the bones were upstairs, so were a bunch of vampires.
The vampires came from Henrik's shop.
Yeah.
Yes. And
He
while we were
quickly
dealing
turns
with
to
all
the
the
side to one of the guards, like, go to Henrik's shop. Bring him to my room.
Oh yeah, we kind of left him tied up a bit. But yep. There were vampires in his shop, and while we were dealing with them, the head bastard vampire showed up. And pretty much the rest of it you know.
Uh, Burgermaster, uh, do you recognize the name Vasily von Holtz?
He kind of shudders a little bit. It's like the other devil. Yes, it's the accountant of one of my rivals. What of it?
Well, I did manage to talk with Henrik, and he said that uh, the crates that had the vampires in them, he said they belonged to Vasily von Holtz.
Did he
Interesting.
did he say why he had the bones in the first place? Because I don't remember that.
No, he just said that he was told to do it, so he did it because apparently he's scared of Holtz.
Well, this is welcome news. He has attacked me financially in the past. I believe uh, by request of Lady Fiona Wachter, a local here who, let's say, we do not see eye to eye. This this man having a connection to this, if I could use this against her, this is welcome news.
Well, while I'm all for your political rival eating dirt and all that, um, the bigger concern is what happened to the bones, because that had something to do with how the town was protected from vampires.
The
So,
town has been kept safe by my father, my grandfather, and generations of Valakoviches for a very long time. I
oh,
don't know anything about these bones of St Andral. I thought that was a fairy tale. I trust me, all will be well in Valaki.
oh,
We
that's
just
good.
must have some malcontents here that are poisoning. There is an ethos of happiness that I require from all my citizens at all times. And when they adhere strictly to this, we are safe. The despair must be creeping in, and I was not vigilant enough at correcting this behavior. That must have been why we were at risk. Otherwise, this could not have happened. These walls are safe from vampires. It's never in my life have I heard of a vampire being in these walls.
Okay.
But all will be well as long as the people know and think and feel and believe that all will indeed be well.
Well, your rival, Wachter, you said that von Holtz works for her.
Yes, he's a financial man by trade. He is not a local to our town, so he comes and goes. I do not know much of him except for the sting of his paper cut.
Okay, so well, I do think that maybe it would behoove my friends and I if we looked for him. So we might speak with Wachter to see if we can find out where he's at, since he was involved in what happened today.
I would caution you to be very skeptical and shield your mind. She is cunning and manipulative. She can get many an unwitting individual on her side, to nobody's benefit but her own. Do not trust this woman. Seek information if you can, though. I'd be very interested to know what this man, her man, Vasily Van Holtz, has to do with this.
Well, okay. Well, we're just gonna collect our friend and be on our way.
You say that and turn around and look to the pews, which are mostly destroyed. Ricky is not there uh, that you can see.
Or maybe not.
Well, have any of you seen a guy with no mouth?
Shiny armor.
Oh yeah, the skinny tall fella that was with you earlier. Yeah, we started hollering and arguing up in here, and I think he plumb went and walked off.
Yeah, that tracks.
Looked like he was going towards the gate.
That doesn't track. Okay, we're gonna go look for our friend.
Yeah.
And Sonny,
We
you do remember Strahd personally offering Ricky a carriage ride.
That is right.
we have permanently split the party.
Huh. Uh, hmm. I don't know how to tell them. I'll tell them that a little later.
I'll tell the elf guy Rictavio. If we wanna we may wanna to speak with you later. Where can we find you if we need to find you?
Oh, hell yeah, buddy. I'm staying over there at the Blue Water Inn just like y'all fellas.
Oh, okay. That's really convenient then.
Yeah, give old Rick Tavio a holler.
Okay. Well, all right. Well, we're gonna go then. We'll probably see you later then.
Well, thanks. Mighty obliged for all your help out there. And turns to you, Tegan, and is like, thanks for helping these knuckleheads see reason. And as you're walking out, I think you hear the burgomaster. It's like, knucklehead, I'll have you know. And then the door is shut.
Well, I think once we're not once we're out of earshot shot of the Burgermeister, I kind of turn towards the rest of them, Manu and Tegan. I'm like, sorry, I just remembered this, but I remember Strahd offered a carriage ride to Ricky. I don't really. My head was pretty messed up right then. I don't know exactly what happened,
Oh,
but uh,
did
he definitely offered.
do you think when Strahd met us in the woods, he managed to entrance all of you? Do you think Ricky was entranced again when he was given that offer?
I think he was. Yeah.
And Sonny,
Well,
you
fuck.
you
You
I mean, if you
remember-
want to, go ahead and make a wisdom check
Is that to see if I would?
to remember the train of events, because you do remember
Okay.
that at some point you and Ricky suddenly stopped being charmed at about the same time that all of the churchgoers stopped being charmed.
Yeah, and you know that you were charmed at that point, right?
Yeah,
Okay. Yeah, I'll do a wisdom check. Is
to see if you can
That's a-
remember if that was
yeah,
before
13.
or after. Yeah, you do remember that y'all had come out of being charmed before that offer was given.
Okay, then. Sorry. Did I say he was charmed? I meant we were good by then.
Oh, okay. I retract my expletive exclamative. Well, let's find him, because that.
Yeah, maybe we could talk to the guards. Maybe the guards would have seen someone in the cleanest armor they've ever seen leaving last night in a carriage.
Yeah, I think most of the guards over that way are still alive.
Yeah, that's and you're pretty close. You can see them from in front of the church. It probably just takes you maybe like a minute to walk over there.
Howdy,
Oh.
boys. Any of you seen a real shiny boy come through on a carriage earlier this morning?
Uh,
Or perhaps a carriage without a shiny boy. Which of the two did you see?
one looks at the other and is like, I suppose you could call that man a shiny boy. Yes, we saw someone leave these gates some 30-40 minutes ago. It looked like he got into a carriage and left.
Thank you. So
Keegan casts thaumaturgy for triple volume voice and exclaims, "Fuck!" yet again.
yeah,
A swarm of ravens just like burst out from overhead.
oh damn it. Ricky. Let's go get Ricky. Down this path, and I point down the path, and
I mean, they're
is it
pointing like on the other side of the gate.
is this is this the gate that leads the way we came, or the way that leads to the west?
If you keep going along the road out that direction, it would be the road heading west. However, there is a road that circumvents the southern wall. So if a person exited that gate and wanted to cut back east, they could.
That is so unhelpful. I guess. Okay.
I don't really know what to do about this because, on the one hand, I kind of want to go back to the Burgermaster just to ask him if he knows anything about people ever leaving this fucking this wonderful place.
Well, there's
Or
still the Sarah pool if you ever feel like going all the way back that way. We can give them a ring.
it would be tempting, except that takes us right past the part of the forest where Jackass encountered us in the forest the last time. And I just don't like that.
Yeah, well, I don't know where Ricky would be. Yeah. Sunny doesn't.
Well, he was offered the carriage ride from Jackass, and he went on there, so I'm guessing it would be most likely to go to jackass's castle. He has a castle on that map. I really hate this place.
I don't think it would be good to
I
go
do too.
chasing after Ricky right now if that's where he's going.
But we can't just let him take Ricky.
I mean,
That's our
look
that's
look
our
what
class that's our classmate.
well, look what he did to all those guards. I mean, do you think that just the three of us stand a chance?
No.
And you are standing basically
Probably
within
not.
view of this pile that is still smoldering.
Ricky, why do you have to split up the party?
Have one bad day and be such a sad boy that you gotta go with.
I don't, but I very much want to go on my knees, scream at the sky, and fire magic missiles into the. Uh,
No, don't waste the spell slot.
I get Sunny gets on her knees and screams into the sky and casts minor illusion to make it look like she blasts magic missiles into the sky.
Again, a flock of ravens just like burst out from the trees. Like,
Maybe we should have. Well, we can still catch up with the burgomaster. There's um Davian told us that there's strange purple light at his at the burgomaster's mansion. So maybe we could ask him about that. Going back to the church.
Yeah, and also ask him if he knows any way out of Barovia or knows local Vistani.
Yeah, that too. We'll ask him that one first.
You think the Vistani could help us find Ricky?
I hope so.
Weren't we told not to trust them though? Aren't they
Yep,
like?
but I trust them.
But they don't seem like super bad. It's I don't know what
We
the
like
deal
stayed with
is.
them, right?
Well,
That's
Yeah.
that's pretty legit.
here's the thing. The ones at the Sarah pool seemed all right, but they seemed um they weren't trying to screw us over, but they weren't actually really going to go out of their way to help us either.
Oh.
On the other hand, we were literally tricked into coming here by a fake letter given to us by one of them. So they seem to have some of them that are somewhat decent and some that are outright assholes.
Yeah, it seems like it would be kind of difficult to know which ones to trust.
Yeah.
Well, let's go talk to the burgomaster and see if we can figure out what's up for now.
you start heading back to the church, and he is at this point storming out with his two mastiffs behind him and the one remaining guard. And Rick Chavio's walking out behind him, kind of a little bit of, you know, a shit-eating grin, going it's like, well, pleasant talking with you, Burgermeister. And the Burgermeister kind of like scowls and like keeps walking.
Hey, wait, Burgermaster. Wait, hold on. Sir. Uh, I have questions.
Well, keep up then. You'll keep running along. He has a pretty long stride.
Hey, we're just kind of wondering. Uh, do you maybe know how to like get out of Barovia? Not just out of Wallachia. I mean, we know how to get out of Wallachia. There's roads, but is there a way to get just out of Barovia?
Not that I am aware of.
Well, where's the border at? We can we can. Is there a way? Is the border close to Saint Markovia Abbey? Could we maybe
The
leave
western
from?
border, he seems very impatient answering the question. The western borders of these lands are not that far to the west of Kresk. Yes. I do
Okay,
not know anyone who has passed beyond that way.
well, why not? It's like right there.
Choking mists that make you lost, make you turned around, make you asphyxiate.
Oh, well, damn.
Alright. Do you have any questions worthy of a burgomaster? Because I believe a Barovian child could have answered that.
Well, one more. We were told uh, that sometimes people see strange lights from your mansion.
He stops for a moment. In fact, y'all walk past him a little bit before you realize he's behind you a little bit of ways. And it's like, who has been saying this?
I just heard it in passing. Somebody on the street mentioned it when we came through the gates and we were heading towards the Blue Water Inn. So it was just somebody on the road. I just kind of overheard. I listen to people all the
And
time.
I am like 90% certain that it was someone who's semi-immolated now.
Says under his breath, Victor. I'm sorry, my son, boys will be boys. He's going through a bit of a pyromania phase. It's nothing to be concerned about. My aides know to keep fire alert so my attic does not burst into flames and cause property damage in my fine city. It's nothing to be concerned of.
Are you sure? Because the last time someone was trying to defend their son for being weird, it ended up being that his son was one of those little lesser vampires.
I wanna insight check his answer.
Insight check.
Oh, fuck me. It's a 7 total.
He rolled the natural one. Uh, you get that the the pyromancy is kind of like a half lie or a half truth.
Yeah, that's about all I'd get because we were told it was specifically purple light, unless he's spouting purple flames. I actually I don't think we have anything else for him. So unless
Will
you,
he- will he- will he be helping with the pyre for the people?
I have approved it. What more do you want?
I was just curious.
I am a very important and very busy man. So if you have nothing else,
well, just I have one last uh question. What can you tell us about the Vistani that are near town?
well, they're not welcome in here for one. Why do you ask?
We were told they would be able to help us leave Barovia.
The Vistani do not help anyone but the devil. They are all in league with him. I do not allow them within my walls.
Well, hopefully you'll be able to give the same treatment to that Fiona lady.
Yes, I hope
Since,
so.
well, best of luck with that, good sir.
Well, anyways, and he starts walking away, but he pauses for a moment and looks back into the three of you and kind of. Is there supposed to be a fourth one of you?
We're looking for him.
Are
It
you
was,
the head lady of the orphanage? Told me of, and he kind of pats on his chest, looks at a note. It's like the magic missiles.
yes.
Well, sorry that I was a bit gruff earlier. I do want to thank you not only for what you've done to help in the streets today, but what you did
Well,
for the orphanage before. You
oh,
you are welcome in my streets, and I would very much appreciate it. I think it would do a lot of good for the people of this town to see you attend the Festival of the Blazing Sun. It's fit to take place in 2 days' time. That's the same day as the celebration of the Feast of St Andral. Uh, it's going to be a big outdoor celebration. Everyone is required to attend. I would very much like it if you would be there also.
Yeah, that sounds good.
When was it?
I'd
2 days?
Two
yeah, 2 days
days.
from now.
Okay.
The day after tomorrow, to be specific. Well, good
if
then.
we're
It is settled.
if we're still near this town, then yes. But we have things to do around Barovia, so that cannot be a promise made. I just, I'll just say that it is understandable that you were gruff with us considering the other outsider you were dealing with right at the time seems to really like taking the piss with you.
I'm not familiar with that expression, but yes, I find him unpleasant at peace.
Annoying you deliberately.
Very good. Yes, that is more doable. I'm not a fan of that man. He is ostentatious and, uh, quite frankly, a little belligerent, even though I don't suspect him of drink. It rubs me the wrong way. So. He also seems to be capable and the intentions true.
Well, have a lovely day.
You as well. All will be well in Vallaki, I assure you. Please join me in 2 days' time. I will give you a seat of prominence during the celebration.
Okay, goodbye.
Well, yeah. Until then,
All right. Long rest twice.
I'm gonna lean over to Sunny, and it's like, while he was being all conceited and condescending, I don't suppose you happened to like pick his pockets or anything just to fuck with him.
No, I didn't. That's a great idea. Good idea though. I could.
I'm
He's close. I could probably still do it.
He
do it.
does have two mastiffs, very large mastiffs, walking with him.
Do it.
I could still probably do it. If we want to go that route. I do have my invisible mage hand.
I don't know if he'd be carrying any kind of important letters or anything. Probably just rob him.
Hmm. I mean, if we want to check, you could if you just distract him just a little bit, maybe that would give us an advantage in this sleight of hand check.
Mm. Oh, sir, I did just remember one question that we forgot to ask.
He kind of turns around and is like, yes.
Um, our friend in the shiny armor might have left by that gate. What all is to that side of the town that would actually be worth going to so that we can find our friend again?
Well, it's the road west, but it also loops around east too. So basically everything that's not to the north road of here. So I could firmly say not Lake Zarovich or Mount Gakis.
But he could be going to I forget the name of the other temple.
The
The
Abbey of St.
Abbey of Saint
Markovia.
Markovia.
So he might have gone to the abbey then.
I suppose that's in a direction from here. Why
All
do you
right.
ask?
I kind of like loudly say, "Hey, Tegan, could you maybe make a minor an illusion of Ricky real quick, just so the Baronmeister could see?"
I will do minor illusion to do the life-size version of Ricky, but I'll initially put it just way too close to the Burgermeister so that he'd have to take like a step back.
Okay.
Okay, and while you're doing that, are you still trying to mage hand pickpocket?
yes, as right as Tegan does that, I made invisible mage hand pickpocket.
Go ahead and roll sleight of hand for that. I'll go ahead and give you advantage for this coordination.
Okay, cool. So that's what I was hoping for. And it's a good thing we got it because that first number is a 4. Okay, much better the second time. That's a 21.
Okay. There's 3.
And it's for mage hand. It says
That's 3
contested by.
failures, 3, 5, and a 14. Because not only was it his attention you had to distract, but his 2 pet mastiffs that all managed to not see that. So you're just basically like feeling around with your mage hand to find where even is a pocket, and what are you looking for?
I'll take all his stuff.
Okay.
I don't even just his things.
You pull out
Classic.
a really fine looking white gold with emerald inlaid ring. What looks like a holy symbol that reminds you of some of the things you've seen in the churches around here with worship of the Morning Lord. But it also is, dripping with too much finery on it. So you could go ahead and mark down 2 pieces of expensive jewelry. Uh, 14 pieces of gold. And a little wooden handled seal, like wax sealer that has What the fuck? It's like 2 V's, but what the fuck is his middle name? Sorry, where is his fucking name? But yeah, let's just say there it's 2 inlaid V's with kind of an ornamentation around it. But that is what you're able to deftly get out of the pocket of.
Sorry, what's the last thing?
It was a little wooden handled metal like wax sealer with 2 kind of concentric V's on it with like little floral embellishing around the letters. Like a monogram, kind of.
Gotcha. Liking that.
And as your mage hand is deftly like retreating back into your pocket, there's like one moment where it looks like one of the mastiffs kind of like catch sight of this moving bundle of stolen goodies, but then kind of like barks at a passing bug or something, and it looks like you were not noticed.
Mm-hmm. Cool. Yeah, he looks like that. That's. Anyway, we'll talk to you later.
That little
Burger
stunt
Meister.
had the potential for moving you from the fire back into the frying pan, but it went in your favor.
Yay. I actually feel like the wax seal might be useful for forging documents in the future. So that's pretty cool.
He wants to protect the city through well wishes and happy thoughts. And I'll say this to the party after we're out of earshot, while completely discounting divine powers that we know for a fact take place and work. I am a cleric. Manu is a cleric. The divine exists, and yet he wants to dismiss it as a fairy tale. I don't like that guy.
I don't know, Tegan. If the divine exists, why do bad things happen to good people like us?
Because there are also evil gods.
I, Sonny, am starting to question these new magical abilities. Seems to have brought me a whole lot of trouble. Trails off angstily. Okay, what are we doing next? We had something else we were doing. I can't remember what it was.
We can go and speak to Lady Wachter, or we can maybe follow the Burgomaster, assuming he's going back to his house, and try and figure out what's up with the purple light. That's just the stuff we can do in town. There's like a whole bunch of stuff we can do.
I'm going to ask Sunny what she got from the Burgermaster.
Yeah. And I'll show. I'll all the things I got: 14 gold, expensive chains, the symbol, and the wax seal. And I'll also say, yeah, bet we can do some cool forgeries later with this little thing. And I twirl the wax seal around a bit.
Okay, so we can keep that. I say we like frame job the Fiona with the stolen goods.
What do we do with it?
Have the burgermaster find his stolen stuff with Fiona.
Oh yeah, plant his
Is
stuff.
Fiona the one who doesn't, who is
Yeah,
like
they
hate each
yeah
other?
yeah they're the one that they don't
Hmm.
get along.
See,
And it's her financial agent is also one of the responsible parties for. Tegan waves her hands around all of this today.
I don't know. I still kind of like the sound of her. I was thinking we could maybe win her over by showing her that we stole stuff from the Burgermeister. I bet she'd think that's pretty cool.
Well, I don't know. I think the wax, the seal, might go a long way. But if we want to use it,
I was
maybe.
thinking we keep that, maybe just, give her one of these expensive chains and be like, haha, we got him.
Well, I was thinking maybe. Oh, hold on. I was thinking what we could do is, uh, we could make a bunch of uh, a bunch of the seals, like just on a big piece of paper, and then roll it up. That way, we have seals to use, and then we could give her the seal as like a show of good faith, and then we still have something to use if we ever want to like forge letters.
That could work. We might not even need to give her much. I bet we could just talk some shit on him, and I think she'd believe us. We don't know what she's like yet, so.
Yeah, I mean, on the
Yeah.
one hand, I imagine, frankly, all we'd have to do is talk shit on him with look at what he allowed to happen to his town today. Like, I just literally watched about 30 people get mass slaughtered, so not good town management. But the problem is she might be involved.
Yeah, that's the thing. I mean, but if man, she might want to. She might have greater aspirations. Maybe she'd want to take over the burgomaster's spot. I don't know. Like just knowing what we know of her dealings, I don't think that would be very good. So for now, I'm gonna err on the side of caution and just not trust her for now.
Yeah. I mean, sure, she's against the pompous rich bastard that is the Burgermeister, but I get the impression she's also a pompous rich bastard
Well,
who's
she is a
willing to
lady.
do
Yeah,
who's
Lady
willing to
Fiona Wachter does sound like some bougie nobility.
and uh I mean, we're trying to talk about two nobles, one who has indirect dealings with the vampires and the other one who thinks you can fight vampires by happy thoughts and well wishes. I don't think I like either of these people much.
Yeah, I mean they're both not good, but
Well, I think the Burgermeister is clearly an idiot because we've been in Barovia for what a very short time, and we've encountered so many fucking vampires. The fact that he doesn't know about them is honestly embarrassing.
The reason there were vampires in the attic of the coffin maker is because there wasn't enough happy thoughts and loyalty in the town. Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
well, it's not like
maybe we just go pay her a visit. Uh, for now, just to meet her and see what she's like, and maybe that then we can plan more once we know what she's like.
Yeah.
But at the very
Yeah.
least, I think we can have a friendly conversation about how much we disrespect the Burgermeister. I can easily imagine that he is a popular one to talk trash on,
especially after today.
especially after today.
I'm going to ban words from being said because that's what's going to magically make the vampires stay away.
Strahd, 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 Strahd. And Sonny's just kind of chanting in the street.
Candyman.
Pee pee poo poo man.
All
So
right, so yeah, let's kind of stake out Lady Walker's house for a few minutes. See what kind of goes on there, and if it's safe to just approach.
So yeah, do y'all agree to go follow? I think Danica, I don't remember if it was Tegan or Sunny, gave one of the two of you directions towards both the Walker's house and the Burgermaster's house. So
Yeah,
you're
I got
following those as
yours.
best your ability.
Yep, sounds good to me.
sounds legit.
Yep.
This house seems disgusted with itself. A slouching roof hangs heavy over furrowed gables, and moss-covered walls sag and bulge under the weight of the vegetation. As you study the house's sullen countenance, you hear the edifice actually groan. Only then do you realize the extent to which this house hates what it has become.
Damn.
I I um I honestly expected something nicer, but I
Now
should
I'm
try.
wondering if she's also a hag in disguise.
Oh, no more. No, no.
Every NPC you meet from here on out, it's like, no, no, no trust, no.
You're all hags. You're all hags.
Doppelgangers,
Hags, you're all
succubi.
hoarding
It's all
fucking
just
vampires, all your furniture is mimics. I don't trust it.
Furniture, heck, the building itself.
well. Let's I guess just knock on the door. I expected more. I expected guards or something.
go up to the door and knock, or do you try it, or
I'm not just gonna walk into someone's house like that. You gotta knock on the door.
not again, anyways? All right,
Look,
you
that
knock.
wasn't.
Um, there's a small window cut into the door. It's at about eye height. You see somebody looking out, and you hear a voice. It's like, "Yes, your business, please."
We're trying to find more information on financial agent. You might know him. I've already forgotten his name out of character.
Vasily
Uh,
von Holtz.
yep.
I didn't even hear you.
Vasily von Holtz.
Mr. Vasily.
I'm afraid you have to ask my lady, and she is not accepting company at this time. Uh, would you like me to leave a message for her?
Well, yes, you could mention to her that um, due to a Mr. Vasily's potential or accused association with a group of vampires recently, that the Burgermeister is going to be looking into her and her association. And we were wondering if we could talk to her and get her side of it before he does.
Very well. And do you have an address where you may be reached?
The Blue Season,
Blue Water.
Blue Water Inn. I was very close. Um, but at the same time, we'll probably be at the in front of this door for the next about 10 minutes if she wants to come talk to us before she starts getting accused of association with vampires, the vampires that just attacked the town.
Well, I wouldn't hold your breath, but I will tell her if that is all.
No, I just figured she might want someone on her side of things. But yes, okay.
Okay. Little window closes, and you hear the sound of receding footsteps.
Well, I predict one of two things will really happen. She'll either want to talk to us or she'll start packing her stuff to try and run.
I don't think she'll run. I mean, this house is kind of garbage, but I mean, where else is there to run to? Is she gonna run back to the the village of Barovia? Like that place was just as garbage as this house.
This house has some rustic, Victorian architecture reclaimed by nature, aesthetic vibes to it.
Yeah,
Uh,
even
I feel
I
like
was in
the
character thinking that was a little harsh to this house.
that narration I read straight out of the module, and even I was like, I wouldn't go that far. This house is kind of cute. It's just a horror module, so basically every building has this building looks sad and it's upset with
I know.
itself.
It's like Queen. Don't be so hard on yourself.
Then
It's
again,
like
I like buildings that
self-loathing
kind of have
building.
that cottage core aesthetic to them that look like they could be inhabited by some hags.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely.
While y'all are waiting, I notice it's only a couple minutes till 10 here. I might want to call it early unless y'all want to have like 10 more minutes of talking to each other on the porch, and we can pick up right to that moment when we get back.
No, I'd be okay calling it a little early.
Yeah, that works for me.
Yeah.
Well, we had a heck of an episode.
PTSD.
Yeah, I mean, me too, because I had to run it all. But yeah, I hope y'all like that better. Trying to do that outside of initiative than in initiative. I feel like if I had attempted to continue it, it would literally be like 6 months of us playing a game where only 10 minutes passes in game.
Yeah, it would have taken forever.
4th edition combat.
But yeah,
Everything takes
50,
forever.
a militia of 50 got incinerated by one spell.
We got so many people killed.
I feel like that wasn't entirely on us, though.
It's not our fault.
I've
Your characters definitely wouldn't have access to this information, but based on that little teaser I made before the last episode, you as players would understand that just by you being there and setting the vampires loose, you kind of did set this chain of motions in event or
Eh,
words.
We
I
didn't.
meant
and
words.
Not our vampires.
yeah,
Yeah, this-
I still feel
It's not
it's
Coffin Boy.
And also,
A.
if you did nothing, this chain of events would have happened in 2 days.
Exactly. It's we were trying
Yeah,
to
we're sticking around for the festival.
we were trying to secure the bones because that's the main thing that prevents the vampires from being in the town, is what the preacher was kind of insinuating.
Mm-hmm.
But that's
Darn bones.
that kind of sounded fake though. After the actual story of St Andral,
Yeah.
like that seemed like that was probably just a story. Like they actually
Ye-
didn't do anything.
Which, and I believe Sunny would have been the only character to hear that story, both of them.
Yeah.
I think I'll probably have conveyed it to them then.
Maybe that's what you're talking about on this porch for
Yeah.
the 10 minutes that transpire between now and next month.
'Cause we are trying to figure out what happened with Ricky and Strahd and stuff, so I feel like I definitely would kind of explain that portion.
Yeah, I
Everything that happened.
trust Strahd about as much as I trust his Vistani. I don't think that's an unbiased accounting, even if he was personally there at the time.
Well, either way, the church is pretty much done anyway, so I guess it doesn't really matter.
A priest in a very traumatized congregation that probably doesn't want to set a foot inside that building again after that.
Actually, do you think anyone would stop us if we just kind of squatted there? I think we could kind of take it over, right?
Start your
We
own
we
church of tax exemption.
Yeah, because if we're gonna be here for a little while, I don't want to keep paying for the
yeah
tab
we
in.
we could probably make our secret base the now abandoned church.
Yeah, I'm
Which is
into that.
pretty worse for wear.
The Church of the Magic Missile.
Church of the Burned Priest.
The decapitated burnt priest.
Sounds like an inn in England. The burnt decapitated priest.
Mhm.
Yeah, we'll eventually get this place renovated. We'll turn it into a tavern.
Or just
Yeah.
like a very deeply pagan area of Ireland.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, y'all got through that by the skin of your teeth, but you're still here. The character of Ricky is missing in action. Who knows what the consequences for that's going to be?
So, is Ricky gonna not be with us for like a couple sessions or something?
So I got in touch with him a couple days ago to make sure he was going to be here tonight, and then he was like, "Yeah, sorry, just been busy, which is why he hasn't been on chat." But then today, like this morning, he got back in touch with me, and I guess he's in the process of moving. And they're also like switching their internet service provider, so he like currently doesn't even have internet. So he wasn't able to join us tonight. But there are, I mean, I don't necessarily want to uh, spoil Lieben's surprises, but he has been talking about wanting to switch up characters.
Okay, for sure. Just I'm happy to not know exactly what's going on. Just was wondering if he was no longer playing with us or if it was just a temporary thing.
For sure.
So
He should be with us.
sounds temporary.
He should be with us next session. He was supposed to be with us this session too. But
No
yeah, I
worries.
guess last minute.
That sounds
wasn't able
good.
to. But yeah, Ricky, Lieben, yeah, is supposed to be coming back. Ricky, it's a little more up in the air.
It's fair. I know Ricky as a character I don't think really wanted to come to do the Dark Pact, and as a paladin that seems like maybe a weird thing.
Mm.
I know personally I'm maybe changing how Sunny is played as well. I haven't figured that out yet. She might be acting a little differently after these traumatic events, though. I think that's a good place to have identity changes, perhaps, as the first real experience with something like this. You know, she's not an adventurer. She's a street performer.
Mm.
So this is kind of taken a pretty wild turn in her life, for sure.
And at this point, kind of just traumatized survivor, just getting through what you have to.
Yeah, I feel like she's more messed up because she didn't die, and everyone else did.
I mean, Tegan's been working on the how much am I coping with trauma ever since the Green Dragons.
Yeah. Not to mention
And
the wolves and the
those guys were
vampire
cute
spawn
in
and
comparison.
Strahd and the hags and this has been a rough campaign for combat. I feel like we've like almost wiped every single time.
I mean,
It's been
literally the very first
a
combat
struggle.
was
Yep.
pretty. I think there was one moment where I either Manu or Tegan, one of the two of you, were the only standing party member.
Yeah, I know.
Oh, you mean against the wolves?
Yeah, the first fight.
Yeah, and Sunny just wanted to go to school to like deal better. That was it.
Just wanted to like do better magic tricks.
Yeah, I was like, I can do Mage Hand. Maybe I could do double Mage Hand.
Juggling
And
mage hands.
big mage. I want to make my Mage Hand carry 20 pounds. And that was like the extent of what she imagined was going to happen. But cool. I'm liking that we're back doing stuff again.
Yeah, not slogged down by 30 plus creatures on initiative. Completely out of initiative now. This current threat is over, so it's just wandering around and doing stuff.
Cool.
Yeah, I've definitely got some new things to prep, but I'm looking forward to that.
All right, cool. Well, I think I'm gonna call it a night then.
Yeah,
It's fun.
thanks for playing, and yeah, see y'all next month.
See y'all.
Night all.
Bye bye.
Bye.